Hi, this is Katie Shell. I'm an intuitive healer and spiritual counselor, and I am an astrologer. This video is kind of my take on synastry readings. And synastry readings are when you take two people's charts and you compare them and you see how you activate each other, how you support each other, how you challenge each other. And I think there's a lot of sort of misconceptions. Well, not misconceptions, because I don't want to, because there's no right or wrong way to do any of this. Astrology is a really complex and big area to study, and what works and the way one astrologer kind of focuses on one thing versus the way another astrologer focuses on something else isn't necessarily right or wrong. So this is just my take on things and sort of what my experience has been the most valuable things to get out of these kinds of readings. So, one of the things that I always pay attention to first is what an individual chart is, as each individual's in the synastry readings chart. And adding another layer to this, I want to say that it is important that we do not limit these kinds of charts to romantic relationships. It can be friends, it can be, my favorite are parent child ones, siblings, business partnerships, all of these different things where we want to understand how we work together. And so, again, so as I was saying, we look at each individual chart and we see the kinds of people as an individual we attract into our lives and why we attract those people into our lives. And then we look at the other individual's chart and we kind of see how they are that person, or which people they are in our chart. And so that adds kind of this instant thing where we're not even seeing how we activate each other. We're only seeing how the person A can be a person is represented in person's B's chart and vice versa. So that's the first layer that we look at when I'm doing a synastry reading. Then we actually look at how the actual compatibility, which is what most people think of when they think of these types of reading, how we activate each other. And so when I think of activations, it's almost like a permanent transit. And what a transit is where are the planets in the sky right now? And so if we are in a relationship with a person, they are activating that part of our chart all of the time. And how are they activating it is going to be part of it, but mostly it brings out something in us that isn't necessarily as prominent when that other person isn't around. And so we look at something like, we look at the different kinds of aspects. So people talk about kind of conjunctions, squares, oppositions, and quincunxes being very difficult. What, but that doesn't mean that that is a bad sign for a relationship. Again, any kind of relationship. One of my best friends and I have 7 quincunxes between our charts. And it is a challenging relationship, but we push each other to grow. We've known each other for, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 years. I don't even have any clue. And because we're both willing to sit at a table, literally sit at a table and talk things out when things feel icky. And so with that, we are able to become stronger in who we are. We're better to able to understand each other a lot better. Whereas maybe if you have some sort of bunch of easy aspects like trines and sextiles, um, it's very fluid. It's a very easy relationship, but it doesn't push you, so it doesn't tend to last as long. It feels really good when it feels good, but then once it's done, it's kind of done. It kind of fizzles out. And that's fine. There's no right or wrong, but it's recognizing those things. And so when we see these, and then we look at how we activate each other and how we understand those strengths and weaknesses of the other person and how we help become more unapologetically ourselves. I have another friend in my life, and our Venus and Chiron. So Chiron is the wounded healer, and it's about something about us that we suppress, and something that is very unique and wonderful about us, but we are fear that we're going to be rejected for us. And so both of us have this Chiron Venus. So my Venus and her Chiron, and her Chiron and my Venus. Did I just say it? Her Venus and my Chiron and her Venus. Anyway, it's reciprocal. It's both directions. And we also have a lot of challenges in our charts, but that is probably one of the more interesting ones that my attention was drawn to lately, and how we're able to support each other in becoming more of who we are. And so, because the Venus is so loving and caring and holding space, whereas Chiron is this, part of us that kind of feels is hurt. And so, by holding space for be able to be unapologetically supportive of the other, we can help each other grow. So that in that case, it's a trine, but it's a trine with something that is normally considered would be considered a very difficult aspect, but we bring care to each other with that. And it's an interesting journey with that, and they're all interesting journeys. So that's part of the thing, is that there's, again, no right or wrong, but we can see these things in the chart. Then I look at parent-child charts a lot, and those we can kind of this has always been one of when I was doing my kind of some of my astrology training, and looking at the things, looking at my kids' charts and going like, oh, dang it, that's me. Like, this is my child hasn't been taught and need to learn. That's something, something we talk about. The Chiron energy is always something that we were rejected by our mother. Like, all of these kind of different energies within the chart, and I see them, and I'm like, every time I do a chart like that, I'm like, everyone has a Chiron in their chart. Everybody has something that was some energy that they were putting on there that was rejected at an early age. It doesn't mean that you have a bad relationship with your mother. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong. But for me, that took a lot of kind of coming to terms with my own growth and how my children spark it. And then how they spark it for me, how we connect with each other. So it's just always about, and then if a particular aspect of our chart is being activated, that we're both kind of going through something together at the same time. Even if we're doing it in different ways, we're both experiencing challenges. Like, one of my kids, we have in Pisces, Saturn recently was on my moon in Pisces, and his a bunch of things in Pisces. He has a whole stellium right at the early stages of Pisces. We both had Saturn on there, so it was a really difficult time for both of us together and apart. But recognizing and kind of witnessing that growth, and seeing and knowing that he was going to come out on the other side, knowing I was going to come out on the other side, helped a lot. So there's a lot of things that we can dive into with synastry readings, but it starts with learning to accept yourself, because at that bottom line is, we have to be willing to see the parts of ourselves that have been deemed unacceptable, that we need to work on in order to have a productive, healthy relationship, whatever that looks like. And this can kind of steer us into where those kind of pitfalls are, and where the strength comes out of them. So I hope this helps. If you're interested in a synastry reading, obviously go to my website. I've got several different available, including something called a family dynamic reading package, which is for about 4 people, and I look at how all of you kind of fit into each other's lives. We do it over 2 or 3 sessions, and I find it's really valuable for, again, families, but it can be any sort of dynamic relationship where you're looking at more than one people who are interacting with others. So hope this helps. Have a great day. Thanks.